Hi everyone, welcome to our beginner guitar course lesson 4. My name is Larry and today you're going to be learning the chord B minor, and we'll also be reviewing the chords A, G, and D so that you can play a popular chord progression in the key of D. Okay, so in the previous lesson I taught you the chords G and D, and then back in lesson 2 I taught you the chord A major. That's why today we only have to focus on one chord, B minor, so let's get into it. Up until now, the chords that you've been learning are called open chords, and they're called open chords because when they're played, they include an open string, which is when you play a string on its own without a finger on a fret. So, for example, if we go to that first chord I taught you, E minor, this is an open chord, or actually all those four chords that I showed you in lesson 2, they're all open because you play a string by itself, or that doesn't have a fret. So for example, in this chord, you're playing that top string without a finger on a fret. You're playing 1, 2, 3, those three strings without fingers on them. Therefore, it's an open chord. With B minor today, I'm going to introduce you to these chords called bar chords. And so what's a bar chord? It's a chord that requires you to use a finger, usually your index finger, to press down multiple strings, which makes your finger act like a bar. So the bar chords that I'm going to show you starting today and then in these other lessons are going to come from four different shapes, either this E shape from lesson 2, or this E minor shape from lesson 2, this A minor shape, or this A shape from lesson 2. And then finally, the cool thing about bar chords is that you can actually move them up or down the fretboard pretty easily. You just have to understand this concept that I'm going to show you real quick. Alright, so time for the B minor chord. The B minor bar chord that I'm going to show you is based off this 5th string, the A string, okay? Because our root note B is, or the chord that I'm going to show you, that root note B is going to be on this string. And so because our root note is on the A string, so just an FYI, anytime your root note is on the A string, for a bar chord, you're going to use either an A or an A minor shape, depending on the chord that you need to play. So in this case, we're going to use the A minor shape because we're trying to figure out B minor, which is a minor chord. So now I'm going to show you a long way and then a shorter way. So let's do A minor first. I remember from lesson 2, A minor. But this time, instead of using these 3 fingers, we're going to use these 3 fingers, okay? Your middle, ring, and pinky. So let's use these 3 fingers. My middle finger is going to go on the 2nd string, 1st fret. My pinky is going to go on my 3rd string, 2nd fret, and the ring finger is going to go on the 4th string, 2nd fret. We have A minor, okay? A minor, same way we did in lesson 2, just different fingers. Okay, so now we're going to take this shape and we're going to move. We're going to move it a couple frets because we're trying to get to B minor. And we're going to move this shape, we're going to move it up 2 frets. So why 2 frets? Because the distance from the notes A to the note B is that of 2 half steps, okay? So I'm going to move it 1 fret, 2 fret, okay? So now with our index finger, we're going to use it to become a bar on the 2nd fret. And the tip of your index finger, the tip of your index finger is going to be on the 5th string, 2nd fret, which is your B note. the root. So now that you have B minor. Okay, so let's do it all again real quick. I'm going to do A minor, but I'm going to use these 3 fingers. I'm going to put it on the fretboard. So I have A minor, I need to get to B minor. That's going to be 2 half steps up. So I'm going to go 1, I'm going to go 2. I'm going to bar it, put my index finger on the root, and then bar the rest of the strings. B minor. There you go. So now I'm going to teach you a different way. Okay, you're going to have the same result. You're going to have the same result, just a different way to think about it. Okay, so in my other lessons, I usually teach you root first and then we build. So that's why that's what I'm going to do right now. So with our, if we know the root is B, and we're going to find it on this 5th string, this A string, we go A sharp or B flat, B. Okay, that's our root. That's where our bar is going to be, and we're going to add that A minor shape with these 3 fingers. Okay. So once again, I'm going to show you again one more time real quick. So we got to find B minor. I'm going to use the A string, 5th string. I'm going to go A sharp, B flat, B. Bar it, add the A minor shape. We have B minor. Okay, so essentially, if you want to think about it, you create a bar chord by combining the root note with the appropriate chord shape. Remember, it depends what string you're on. So for B minor, which is based on the 5th or A string, the root note is B plus the A minor shape, because we're on this A or 5th string and it's a minor chord. Okay, so last thing, or another pointer is when you strum for B minor, for this B minor, don't play that top string E. You have to skip it, because remember, our root is not there. Our root is on this 5th string. Okay, so we play our root and we strum down. Okay, skip that top E. Last pointer for those of you that want to get into music theory is the chord B minor is made up of the 3 single notes, B, D, F sharp. Okay, so you have B on the 5th string, and then on this 4th string you have F sharp. This one with your ring. With your pinky on the 3rd string, you have B again, and then with your middle finger on that 2nd string, that note you're playing is D. And lastly, on the 1st string, you're barring that 2nd fret. That's an F sharp. So that you have your 3 notes: B, D, F sharp. Okay. All right. So now that we have B minor, we're very close to finally being able to play a popular chord progression in D. We're going to very quickly review the chord of A, or A major, because I know it's been 2 lessons. I showed you this in lesson 2. So for this chord, remember you have these 3 fingers, your index, middle, ring. They're all going to be on that 2nd fret. Your index is going to be on the 4th string. Your middle is on the 3rd. Your ring is on the 2nd string. And you have your root is this 5th string A, so that you can play A or A major. And remember that the A major chord is made up of 3 single notes: A, C sharp, E. A, E, A, C sharp, E. Okay, so you got it. Quickly reviewed A. If you need more detail, go back to lesson 2. Okay, so as for G and D, I showed you this in the previous lesson. So if you need to review that, G or D, please go check out lesson 3. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna put this all together. All right, and we're gonna play the chord progression D, B minor, G, A, which would be a 1, 6, 4, 5 progression in the key of D. And I put D and B minor next to each other because these two chords are relatives. B minor is the relative minor of D major. All right, so here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna play D, then B minor, G, and A. One more time, D, remember strumming down, B minor, G, A. So on your own, you're gonna practice this chord progression. Remember, start slow, very slow, and then start going a little faster as you get more. Your fingers start learning, muscle memory, and you start being able to transition quickly. So remember, don't get discouraged or frustrated. This takes time. Guitar can be difficult to learn at first. So we're playing D. Take your time. You could go very slow. B minor, and G, and A. Okay, so just practice that at home over and over. That's a popular chord progression. There's songs out there with that progression. Like I said, don't get discouraged. Perfect practice makes perfect, and it takes time. It takes hours, days to learn something and to become proficient and then excel at it. All right. So next lesson, I'm gonna teach you a progression in the key of A. Okay, that way we keep on going. So get some practice. Don't get discouraged. It's gonna take time, but you can do it. All right. I'll see you next class.